So I have a confession to make. Last night I did not watch Celebrity Big Brother's finale when it aired. I was watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta and The Walking Dead mid-season premiere and Talking Dead as well. So I decided to wait until today, which is Monday, and watch this finale and really take my time with this review. A few things that I have to say before I start this review is that I had a feeling that Ross was not going to win from day one. I felt that Ross was very overconfident. Things were going his way a little too much, and he just knew he was going to win. And I started reflecting upon the past winners and how they had to move and shake and kind of come out from the shadows after weaving different webs just to win the game. They were never outwardly doing things, and rarely were they called out for what they were doing. Also, in regards to America's favorite player, there's a lot of people saying that something shady happened in regards to the votes, and some people are blaming the casual viewers, the ones that don't watch the feeds and really don't pay attention to what's posted on social media, saying that they all ran and voted for Ross and didn't see what Ross was doing. Me personally, I was surprised. I was like, dude, I thought Meta was going to get it because everybody seemed to like Meta on social media. Boy, was I wrong. But anyway, I'm Sage Valentine. This is my final review of Celebrity Big Brother Season 1. This review video is all about the finale, which is episode number 13, so let's just get down to it. Ross won that HOH competition, the second to the last one. Marissa fell first, Ari fell second. Mark and Ross were up against one another at one point, and Ross begged Mark to jump down so that Ross could get a letter from his mom, who is apparently very sick. And Mark obliged him, but not before making a deal with Ross that Ross would not put him up. I mean, there really was no need to make the deal, though, considering that Ross has said probably since before he got in the house that he does not like Omarosa, and he has been targeting her since the game began, so... But I guess you got to do what you got to do in this game. So, of course, Ross's big idea was to nominate Omarosa and Ari. But Ross told Mark that he was going to put Marissa up if Omarosa somehow won the veto, and then he would vote Ari out. And I read my note a couple times, and I was like, how would he do that? Then I realized if Omarosa had won and used the veto, she would have given Marissa a vote, Mark would have given Ari a vote, and then Ross would be the tiebreaker and put Ari out. So pretty much Ross went to Ari and told Ari that she was a pawn. And Ari is really upset because she found out that Ross made a deal with Mark. And she said that she does not feel safe with that group. Ross gets really emotional about the idea of winning the game and was talking about what it would mean to kids like him. And I'm just like, that's sad, that's sweet, but I don't think you're winning. It was a gut feeling I had of him, like, I don't think Ross is going to win this. Ross talks separately to Ari, and she says that she would take him to the final two, and I just felt so sorry for her. I felt so bad for her because being a viewer, being at home watching the show, I knew that Ross's plan was to get her out next after getting out Omarosa, so I felt kind of bad for her. At the nomination ceremony, Ross pretty much said that he nominated Omarosa because she put him up twice. And Omarosa said to us that she has to fight for the veto. He said that he nominated Ari because they were running out of people to nominate. I'm like, yeah, right. You kind of could have nominated Marissa, though. Put her up as a pawn, but... The final veto competition was... So Ross won that veto. And as soon as he did, I knew that Omarosa's game was done. But then she figured it was almost done anyway, but she still kept on fighting. That's the one thing I admire about her. Regardless of being knocked down and being nominated, she continued to fight. I like players like that in this game. I'm glad that she was finally evicted because I got tired of Ross talking about targeting her and evicting her over and over and over. I'm like, enough, dude, enough. You've been targeting her since before you walked in the house. You've had a problem with this woman. Enough. I also knew once he got that veto that he was not going to win Celebrity Big Brother because he was clearly getting just about everything that he wanted. And from my perspective, in looking back at the winners from seasons 1 to recent seasons, I'll mostly focus on the recent seasons. Those players did not get everything that they wanted. They got a few things, but not everything. Everything that they wanted to do did not necessarily happen the way they wanted it to happen. So the fact that Ross was getting what he wanted proved to me that he was not going to win. But Ross believed that he was going to win. At the veto ceremony, he decided not to use the veto. I was not surprised because if he did, that would F up his plan if anything changed. And I was just like, remember, it is Celebrity Big Brother. But Ross got his wish, and Omarosa was evicted in a vote of 2-0. Both Marissa and Mark voted to kick her out of the house. So she went off to join the jury. And honestly, I would rather have been evicted as 5th rather than 4th or 3rd. And you're probably saying to yourself, Sage Valentine, why the heck would you want that? I don't know, because at least you know you're leaving and you are close, but you're not that close to lose, because I would hate to be number 3 and 4 like Ari and Mark were, because they were so close to that $250,000 check and that $50,000 check, and then it was all snatched away. So if it wasn't clear to you that Omarosa was the villain of this season, I don't know what to tell you, but as soon as she came out the house, people were just like, woo, but it wasn't the big woo that everybody else got. So Lady O was the villain. She probably doesn't even care because she's used to it. And again, she got like over $1 million to appear on Celebrity Big Brother. So she's going home $1 million richer. But anyway, she strutted out of the house. She said that they did the right thing by getting her out of the house. And she can't believe that she lasted this long. Once she took out James, she knew it was a done deal that she was leaving next. She said that she hasn't had a chance to be herself after appearing on The Apprentice and all these other shows and working in the White House and such, and I guess she's trying to say that this Lady O in the Celebrity Big Brother house that we saw was the real Lady O. She is a super fan of Big Brother. She thanked everyone at CBS. Again, she got $1 million check, so she's good. And she's walking out the house with much more than the America's Favorite House guests and the actual winners, though. That's not half bad. In the final HOH, which is Hash It Out, pretty much Marissa, Ross, Ari, and Mark all battled it out to win HOH. Marissa won the final HOH, and she had to evict 2 house guests. She chose to evict Mark and Ari, and I'm not surprised she chose to keep Ross. Why do I think that she kept Ross? Well, she said on the show that he was her ride or die, but I think she also realized if she takes Ross, she has a big chance of winning. But I think on another hand, she probably felt like, you know, I could win, but maybe some of these jury members are upset with me and they like Ross. Like, it was kind of a 50-50 situation. But I do think she made the right decision by taking Ross. Marissa evicted Mark and Ari from the Celebrity Big Brother house. They both said that Marissa did not make a mistake in picking Ross. Mark said On a side note, though, we'll see if she made a mistake. They both are very happy about the experience. Mark said it's not what he thought it would be. Everything that makes the world amazing is in the house. Ari loved the experience, and Mark is thankful for the experience. So then we get to the jury scene where these 9 people are pretty much going to determine who's going to win the $250,000 and who's going to take home $50,000. So we see Chuck, Keisha, Shannon, Meta, Brandy, and James. And I love seeing their reactions when Omarosa came out, Ari came out, and Mark came out. It was funny when Julie asked Shannon, who do you want to see sitting in those last 2 chairs or last 3 chairs? And Shannon said she would like to see Marissa and Ross. And James said that he did not want to see Mark. So we get to the question and answer segment. Brandy says that she wants to know, do Marissa and Ross have any regrets? Marissa said she regrets some moves she had to make to protect Ross in the house. And Ross said that he regretted being naive. James asked, was it important to stay true to your word or do whatever you had to win? Ross said you have to stay true to your character. You have to pivot and be flexible. And he chose the right ride or die. That's a good answer. On a side note, that's something that a lot of house guests tend to say every season. And it's something that I hope that the incoming house guests, people who are thinking about auditioning for Big Brother, will keep that in mind when they go into the house. Marissa said everything she said, she genuinely meant. Shannon asked, why do you, Marissa, deserve to win over Ross? She said because she believed she picked the right person to go to the end with. Good answer. Ross said he deserves to win because he loves the game. And he won when his butt was on the line and he played the game hard but with compassion. That's another answer that I've heard people say over the years. Just keep that in mind. I'll explain when I get to the end of this. Omarosa asked, how did your strategy change over the course of the game? And what was the biggest lie you told? Marissa said that her strategy never changed. She tried to play with honesty and compassion. And when Chuck asked her if she knew what was going on the morning before his eviction, she says she did not know when she did. Ross, on the other hand, said that his strategy never changed and he never shared the truth all the time. Here's the thing with Ross versus Marissa, and then I'll get to the part when they put the keys in the box and everything. Marissa's answers were more genuine, in my opinion. Ross seemed to be giving answers of what people wanted to kind of hear, but also mixed with things that people who have played Big Brother or people who have watched Big Brother before have heard. So honestly, I feel like that probably upset a lot of the jury, which is probably one reason why he didn't win. And Marissa came off as more genuine and more down to earth. And again, Marissa was more in the background, whereas Ross was right here. So when people were probably reflecting on the game, they thought of everything that Ross had done, whereas Marissa just followed along and said, and rarely got any blood on her hands, and Ross was just bloody from head to toe. Let me know what you think of Ross's answers and Marissa's answers in the comment box below, by the way. Alrighty, so we get down to the live vote. Marissa said she wasn't expecting any of this, and she took Ross with her to the end because she was true to him. Again, Ross said something about loving the game. And when he wanted to win, he won, and made some sort of football reference about people winning in the fourth quarter or something. His answers seemed to rub the jury the wrong way. You could tell by the way they were looking at him every time he spoke. I mean, granted, there were people in the jury who were kind of shady about both of them, but especially when Ross spoke, there was a little tension. There was some with Marissa, but more with Ross. If you don't believe me, go back and watch that segment and watch as the camera pans to the different jury members and see their faces. They were happy, they were smiling, they were giggling. There was a heck of a lot of talking going on while Julie was talking, while Ross was talking, while Marissa was talking. And I wish that we could learn what the heck they were talking about, because it seemed like an interesting conversation. But basically, they get down to the moment when they put the keys in the box. And I'm talking about the jury members. Chuck was the first person to put his key in the box. He said that he was awarding the person who played the fairest and straightest game. Ari said the person who had the most honest game. Mark said the person that he loved since day one. Keisha said the person who was the most upfront. Shannon said the person who was most honest with her. Meta said he doesn't know who to vote for. And I'm just like, Meta. Like, dude. All season, Meta has just been kind of flighty and floating around. He's a sweet cinnamon roll. I can't really say too many bad things about. In fact, I can't say anything bad about Meta. Meta is a sweet cinnamon roll in his own world, and they should have let him bring Orwell the owl with him, and then Meta would have been okay. Brandy said that she chose the shadiest person in the house. James said that the speeches changed how he voted, and Lady O said she's voting for the person that she loves and the person who wasn't gunning for her the whole time. Yeah, she got Ross back. The jury in another segment, they are all still sitting down and they start talking about what surprised them when they got home. Shannon said she was surprised that everyone was trying to backdoor her the week before she left, and that the two people she trusted the most backstabbed her, aka Ross and Marissa. And Marissa said the reason why she helped with the back door is because she knew that she could not beat Shannon. And Ross tried to butter up Shannon by saying she was the best ever to play the game. So the jury in another segment, they are all still sitting down and they start talking about what surprised them when they got home. Shannon said she was surprised that everyone was trying to backdoor her the week before she left, and that the two people she trusted the most backstabbed her, aka Ross and Marissa. And Marissa said the reason why she helped with the back door is because she knew that she could not beat Shannon. And Ross tried to butter up Shannon by saying she was the best ever to play the game. Keisha talked about how she followed her intuition and her intuition was right. And she asked Ross if he was true to any alliance in the house. And Ross said he was true to Brandy and Ari and Marissa and Mark. But the whole Brandy situation he was true to until... Keisha asked if Ross was true to any alliance. And he said that he was true to Marissa, Mark, Ari, and Brandy. And Keisha said that she trusted her intuition and her intuition was right. Meta was shocked how bad he was at the game. He said that Ross played the game with no integrity and he was amazed by the Big Brother editing. That's something I talk about a lot, and a lot of people talk about that editing. That's why I always include a link in the description box for people to sign up for the feed so you can really see what's going on, because it's one thing to read it. It's one thing for another person to dictate what's happening, and it's a whole nother thing to actually see it happen. And then Big Brother showed Brandy's goodbye message, and it was hilariously fun. So we get down to the final vote. Mark, Brandy, and Meta gave 3 votes to Ross. Ari, Omarosa, James, Shannon, Keisha, and Chuck gave their votes to Marissa, which was 6 votes, and Marissa won the first season of the U.S. version of Celebrity Big Brother. She's the first winner. She won $250,000, and I'm happy that she won, and I feel like she deserved it. Hell, I feel like everybody in this season deserved to win because I feel like everybody played the hell out of this game. Hell, even Meta. When Meta was paying attention, because Meta seems like he's a daydreamer, so he's a sweet little cinnamon roll. Ross, on the other hand, won $50,000 because he was the second place winner, and he was crowned America's favorite house guest, America's favorite player of the season, and a lot of people on social media are pissed off about that. Me, I'm just like, I voted for Meta, so he's my sweet cinnamon roll, but let me know what you thought of all of this. I mean, all of it. The whole season. Whatever you want to talk about Big Brother related. As for me reviewing season 20, let me know if that's what you want me to do this summer. And I'll figure out how to do it. Because I'm still going to be reading my books. But if I have to review it for you guys, I'll review it. Shout out to all my TWD fans, viewers that watch my reviews. That review is coming soon. You all take care. I really enjoyed reviewing Celebrity Big Brother Season 1. Shout out to CBS. Thank you for finally bringing Celebrity Big Brother to the United States. I enjoyed watching Season 1. I'm looking forward to Season 2. For Season 2, I hope they up the ante as far as the celebrities. And I hope that they pick people who don't get homesick as easily. And if there is another breastfeeding mom and her breast pump breaks, hopefully Big Brother will replace it quickly, because I feel like, even though I had a feeling that Keisha was not going to be in the house very long, I felt like she had a chance to win. Meta had a chance to win. Hell, everybody in this house had a chance to win Big Brother. It was hard to pick who I liked and who I didn't like, because really in this season I had no horse in this race. I hitched my wagon to no one. I just sat down and I just watched. But again, I had a feeling that Ross wasn't going to win because he was so sure that everything was going his way. When players get like that, those are usually the players that don't win. We saw that exhibited with Paul in season 19 and season 18. But anyway, guys, I love you all, and I'll be back to review TWD and maybe something else. You never know. Bye, guys. I love you all. Bye.